Hello guys, and welcome back to our IndustryLand webinar series. Some of you may remember me from some of the earlier episodes in the series that focus on our hospitality and residential solutions here at Tuya. Now, after a few weeks out, we've been receiving a large amount of interest from hoteliers and technology businesses globally off the back of the release of our Tuya Hotel of the Future video, with many people curious as to how exactly a smart hotel works. So in today's short session, I'm going to give those of you who are yet to see the video a chance to watch it once through before we go back through it, and I break it down piece by piece to show you some of the core components of a smart hotel. So first of all, let's take that one run through the Tuya Hotel of the Future video.
小智管家，打开窗帘。
小智管家，打开电视。
好的，已为您打开电视。
小智管家，我要睡了。
好的，已为您打开睡眠模式。
小智管家，我在，我起床了。
好的，已为您打开起床模式。
小智管家，来了，帮我送份早餐吧。
好的，已为您通知前台。
小智管家，我在，我走了。
好的，欢迎下次入住未来里酒店。
谢谢。Okay, great. I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did, but now let's crack on and get into how exactly this works. But before we dive in, I think that somewhat ironically, the key message I want to get across is that despite the name being the Hotel of the Future, this technology is very much in the here and now and is considerably less complex than you may think. Today's webinar will be largely aimed towards those in the hotel business, so I do want to avoid too much technical jargon, and I will try and spell the smart hotel out as clearly as possible for you before highlighting some opportunities for you guys to start building your own smart hospitality businesses. So first things first, what exactly is smart hospitality? For those of you who haven't had much experience with smart tech, a smart property or a smart hotel is one which utilizes various connected smart devices which are able to both talk to each other and work autonomously. This interaction of devices is referred to as Internet of Things or IoT technology, and means that instead of having isolated systems across your hotel property, they can now all be connected and share data with each other and yourself. So, in plain English, what does this mean for my hotel business? Well, some core functions we'll see besides the ones on the screen. How contactless check-in. Many hotels have already taken this first step onto the smart ladder, and this is largely being pushed by the pandemic. This enables the issuance of digital keys to guests and staff without the need for staff to be present to deliver the keys over. Also, energy savings. When you have smart devices that are able to automatically turn themselves on or off without the need for manual control, not only will you of course save significant amounts on your energy expenditure, but also reduces the need for that wasted staff time on running a nightly sweep of all vacant rooms to check all the lights and other devices. Then, asset protection. Devices such as flood sensors or smoke sensors will be programmed to immediately notify staff of any abnormalities in the room, and allowing rapid response times and protection of both your property and reputation, and through installing a degree of preemptive maintenance. Then on top of that, we have smart rooms, and how do they increase the value of your hotel? So they give guests a truly unique and personalized experience through that smart device control they have in their rooms via their phone or their voice. Thus, in theory, this will drive up the value of your room by giving you that truly unique selling point, and therefore improving overall guest attraction and satisfaction. And then finally, about that connected hotel experience. This is where we bridge the gap between guests and management through giving guests that one web app to manage their whole hotel stay, from device control to check-in and ordering food, all of which can be connected directly to the management team through the platform for drastically improved service and work order management. In terms of some of the hardware you'll need to start building your smart hotel, I've listed the majority of the core devices on screen that we'd largely believe to be necessary to give the same experience you're going to see here in the video. All of the hardware mentioned on screen will be able to be handled by both guests and management, and will all contribute to providing you with some of those key aspects of smart hospitality that we mentioned just a minute ago. For example, devices such as switches and plugs can deliver unforeseen energy management capabilities, and smart locks are of course the backbone of your smart access solution. You may notice that there are some devices from the video that aren't listed on the slides here, such as those smart toilets, mirrors, showers and so on. We do believe those to be, of course, strong value-add items which drive that increased room value and guest experience. However, we do also encourage you to judge case by case, and in fact don't really sometimes need to put these in all of the rooms unless you really want to, as they are not critical to that smart control. Okay, and then just one more point before we dive in. It's important that we are aware of the key software tools that are at play here and are being utilized by the guests, management and maintenance staff. These are the software tools we have built and are there for you guys all to take advantage of when building your own smart hospitality solutions. So first up is the 2-year hospitality web SaaS. This is the central management platform designed for business directors and hotel staff. From the platform, you'll be able to control functions such as the checking in and out of guests via smart locks, smart energy and security management, as well as centralized control of those common area devices, all those in the vacant rooms. Next, the web app, designed solely for the hotel guests. Before check-in, guests will receive text codes with a login for a web-based app that allows them to control their stay at the smart hotel, as well as a code for the door. On the app, they'll be able to control devices such as doors, lights, curtains, TV, and much more, as well as carrying out operations-based services such as extending their stay or ordering room service. And finally, the Smart Construction app. This is designed for the installation and maintenance staff responsible for building and looking after your smart property. On the app, the staff will receive work orders to come and install a select number of smart devices in certain rooms using a specified temporary door code that allows them to get onto the property for that limited period of time. Okay, now let's run through this video in detail. Okay, so we've paused here to highlight the first key point of a smart hotel, the contactless check-in process. So, how do we get this to work? In fact, it's fairly simple. The guest will book their hotel room via their usual OTA, which is already connected to the hotel's existing PMS platform. This PMS platform can then be directly integrated into Tuya Hospitality's management system, and this is where we begin to get smart. Depending on what kind of service you're looking to provide, hotel managers can opt to go for a fully contactless, no check-in desk experience, where guests are directly sent a text message on the day of check-in with their access code for the door, as well as a login for the web app. From there, they can go directly to their rooms and begin their stay. This kind of system isn't for everyone, and in general is better suited to those disconnected properties, such as Airbnbs or short-term rentals, where sending management to let guests into their rooms is often a headache. The more common route is still somewhat of a hybrid self-check-in model that we can see in the video here, where there will still be a lobby to walk into, and there still will be staff there. However, guests will check themselves in using the self-check-in machines, and the aim here is to empower staff to do what they do best, which is serving the guests and not being behind the desk handling menial paperwork. And on a small note here as well, from our experience, some of the smartest hotels we've worked with still continue to offer room cards, albeit as an optional extra, which may seem a little bit counterintuitive. However, when putting your guests first, the main aim of the smart hotel is not to force any changes in behavior by the guest, but instead to offer more ways in which they can interact with their experience to deliver a more comfortable and personalized hotel stay. This means that by keeping the room card as an option, the guests can still choose to experience their hotel stay in the same way they would have previously, which generally proves to provide less friction and a safer option to give that best guest experience. Okay, let's move on. Now, I get an awful lot of questions regarding the robots in this video, and generally the questions focus on whether or not they can deliver true value. It's worth noting here that the robots are provided by one of our strategic partners, Yunji, and so on behalf of them, I'm just going to give some quick insight to the potential benefits of smart service robots and a little bit about how they work. As you can see on the screen, these robots deliver very strong value when it comes to replacing the work of delivering items such as food or towels to guests, which is generally seen as a menial task that is not the best use of your already depleted workforce. As you can see from the stats on screen, according to occupancy and salary rates of an average European hotel, these robots can, at a bare minimum, serve to either save money on staff costs or, as I prefer to see it, open up those opportunities for your staff to deliver more value to guests and make better use of their time. On top of that, these robots continue to add a modern feel to a hotel and are often a strong selling point for those hotels who are really looking to deliver that high-tech USP. So, what's the general process of installing these robots? They will first need to be guided around the property as they map out the building, as well as having a manual elevator inspection to review whether or not they'll be able to autonomously call the elevator themselves. If not, smart elevator solutions will need to be looked at, and we can support there. Then from there, you will need to select an appropriate charging spot for your robot and allow it to then continue the mapping process across the building. You'll also need to run some functions tests, such as testing the ability to test picking up food and delivering. After all necessary testing is complete, you can go out and can get started with the smart room deliveries like we can see in the video today. Okay, so here we're going to touch on the idea of that common area device control, and today's example is going to be a smart lighting scene like we can see here. So what exactly is working here? In fact, it's a really simple but clearly understandable example of how smart technology can work to benefit your whole hotel in both saving energy and adding a more comfortable experience. The way in which this works is through the installation of a series of smart motion sensors in the hallway that are probably visible on the ceiling there, that are directly connected to either smart bulbs or smart switches, depending on how far you want to go. Then the automation logic that can be easily programmed via our web platform is that if the motion sensor A is triggered, the corresponding light will turn on for X amount of time before turning off again. This can be easily repeated across all corridors in the property through the use of installation templates, which allow you to create one routine automation and then roll that out and install across as many identical areas as you need. Additionally, when we click over to the next slide, you can see how this looks for a manager using the Tuya hospitality platform. So you can see here we're on the device control page on the web SaaS, where the hotel manager can select devices such as light switches and manually control them, from simple controls like turning it on and off to more complex ones like dimming the lights, setting timers, or even colors. This provides massive benefits for keeping on top of your energy usage with minimal effort, but with total control. Now, speaking of those smart energy saving capabilities, let's take a quick look at how that translates to our management platform here. There are specific energy tracking devices such as smart water or electric meters that can report directly back to the platform with cumulative energy reports for whole units, areas, or properties. However, many of our smart devices such as switches are also able to provide energy usage information on a micro scale, allowing for more finite and accurate reporting, so that you can keep an eye on specific rooms that appear to be consuming more energy than others and adjust accordingly. As you can see on the screenshot here, we can track both all the energy output across the property, as well as put in place any restrictions on excessive usage that will automatically come into action and save you money on your energy bills. Okay, now let's stop here and take a look at the systems in place that enabled the guests to access the room as well as common areas using their phone, and some of the different options that are in place for you to give guests when choosing how they wish to access their rooms. So on the video, we can see the use of the web app access. This involves the guest using that previously mentioned web app to directly click and open the door. However, other methods of door access you may consider include those such as temporary code access, some form of biometrics like fingerprints. However, we do generally advise against this in hotels. And finally, having that trusty backup of the old RFID hotel card to make sure your guest is still fully in control. When choosing your access devices, there are a range of locks to select from, depending on the style or function that you want to achieve. We provide a range of lock selections that all run on Zigbee technology, meaning that they will communicate via a smart hub installed inside the room and allows them to work without an internet connection, and lets managers have truly comprehensive control over all their locks across the properties. As we take a look at how the access control looks for our managers here, we can see that there's an option to seamlessly check in guests and add extra guests to rooms so they can be sent access codes and web access if need be. Temporary or permanent access permissions can also be assigned to staff such as cleaners or maintenance staff who may not necessarily need to have full access to the property and all rooms on a 24/7 basis. Okay, and then I'm quickly going to mention before we move on that I'm going to let the next focus point be on that smart guest room experience that we mentioned earlier. So I'm going to roll the clip and we'll come back and look at that again in detail a little bit later.
小智管家，打开窗帘。
小智管家，打开电视。
好的，已为您打开电视。
小智管家，我要睡了。
好的，已为您打开睡眠模式。
小智管家，我在，我起床了。
好的，已为您打开起床模式。
小智管家，来了，帮我。
Okay, there is a fair bit to unpack in there, so let me explain. First of all, what kind of hardware can we expect to be in a typical one-bedroom smart hotel room like the one we see today? Well, like mentioned, we believe the core devices that you should consider in most of your smart rooms to be ones like these: a smart Zigbee gateway, a thermostat, a lock, a water leak sensor, 2 or 3 door and window sensors, 5+ smart switches, universal remote controls, which are great for turning legacy infrared controls such as those for ACs to be controlled via mobile phone, 1 to 2 motion sensors and potentially a light strip, as well as a smart curtain motor. You can of course opt to make the rooms less or more smart. For example, if you wanted to add those devices we saw, like the smart mirrors or showers, that's absolutely fine. But the numbers I provided are what we understand to be the general average for your smart hotel room. So the way we normally see it is that those extra value add items get added onto the master suites, but they don't necessarily have to be in every room. So once you've got your device installation template set for your rooms, you can invite the maintenance staff to come and install all devices into your rooms, and once installed, they'll be instantly registered onto your management platform, meaning that you'll be able to see that all the devices in room 101 have been successfully installed, and then from there you can control them and manage them. So after that, you'll need to preload some smart scenes into the rooms. A scene is a predetermined sequence of device interactions triggered by an event, either a voice or the tap of the phone in this instance. So like you saw in the video, when telling the smart speaker, time for bed, all devices will automatically turn off and the curtains will close. The logic of pre-installing smart scenes is so that the guests will not have any friction when having to use and control the devices individually. For example, when we wanted to turn in that go to bed mode, imagine having to turn off all the lights one by one via voice. That certainly does not make for a more comfortable hotel stay, so guests in the end would just revert back to using that switch. So the key reminder is here that you need to make sure that your smart tech is truly adding convenience and comfort to your guests. Okay, and then just on a final point about that H5 web application. So we've spoken a lot about how it has great power to allow the guests to control those smart devices in their rooms, but the idea of that web app is to truly be the hub for your guests when they're staying in your hotel. So also embedded into that H5 web app is the ability to control functions such as checking in, checking out. You can also embed embedded smart retail into the app using the Tuya Mall function, meaning that guests can purchase services or goods such as, for example, booking meals or going to the gym or booking classes, all through the app. So it's the ability to control everything during that hotel stay in one central place, making for ultimate convenience.
送份早餐吧。
好的，已为您通知前台。
小智管家，我在，我走了。
好的，欢迎下次入住未来里酒店。
谢谢。Okay guys, so that wraps up the run through of our Tuya Smart Hotel video there. So final note from me really is just to remind you guys of what our focus is here. We are looking to increase the number of smart hotel solution providers in the market. So we hope after you see these videos, and there'll be more of them coming, that you can be inspired to wish to build your own smart hotel solution and that in fact it is really not as complicated as you may think. We will be here to support you all the way in providing you all the necessary technology you need, from software to hardware, to make sure you are delivering the best solution to your local hotel clients. So on that note, guys, if you would like to find out anything more about how to develop smart hotels or how to work with Tuya, I am more than welcome to get a meeting booked with myself or my team to run you through all of it and how it works. So I really look forward to hearing from you guys, and any questions you have, please don't hesitate to fire away, and we can answer those in due course. So, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for taking part today, and I really hope this was informative and useful for you guys, and stick around because we do have some really exciting content coming out over the next few weeks. So, that's all, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.